Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Operators Tactical Mindset Live. So, currently, we're waiting on one of the personal fitness trainers. He'll be in shortly. He's trying to get some technical issues sorted out. But yeah, thank you for being here today. Today is one of those days that there's going to be a lot of fitness. Oh, there he is. All
Got
right.
it. I'm a boomer, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good, my friend. It's all good. It's all
How we
good.
doing today?
Good, good, good. So here we go. Here we are. I got something here that I gotta click on. Yeah, okay, got that. So, we'll do a little quick intro here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here in Operators Tactical Mindset today, live with JT, our personal trainer. He is very knowledgeable. He has an amazing story. He is one of these individuals that he wants to help. He is so knowledgeable in fitness, and he is here to kind of guide us through what a law enforcement or first responder should be training due to their to their job. Not everybody needs to be super bulky, but in other words, they need to be physically fit, ready to go. So JT, thank you for being here today. I do appreciate your time. I
No
want to go
problem. I'm glad
ahead.
to be here.
I want to go ahead and start with, hey, tell us a little bit about your your history, and we'll go from there.
All right. So I grew up in let's just call it a broken home where my parents were really badly addicted to drugs. I actually lost them both at a young age due to drug overdoses. So at an early age, food was kind of my comfort. It was always there for me. So, I got into eating. I got to a point where in high school I could maintain my weight, around 235 because I played sports. After I left high school and got into the real world where I had a job and all of those things, I ate a lot more food and I did a lot less activity. And
Hey,
I
food is
ballooned up
good.
to about 415 pounds
Oh
over the
wow.
next, say 10 years. So that's how I got to where I was at. And obviously, I feel like a lot of times when people are that obese, there's always a little bit of trauma that goes with it. And that's my trauma story, I suppose.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what? Things nowadays are a little bit different where now we have supplements. And when you're young, I understand that supplements is sometimes is out of your reach, and sometimes you need a guiding hand to be able to, tell you, hey, eat this, do it this way. And sometimes as kids, hey, let's be honest, we don't listen, you
we
know,
don't,
we
not
do,
at
we
all.
do what we want. But, um, but yeah, so as far as your fitness trainer aspect of it, how did you really get into it? What was your your push? Who pushed you to that?
It was myself. It was a realization. There was two moments where I realized I started to need to lose weight. One was when I was at work and my boss took a picture of me while I was on the ground, like on one knee, and I was struggling to get up. And I looked at myself and I was like, I can't even get up off the ground. And then like so that got to thinking in my head, and then like later, maybe later that week, even where I'm just trying to shower and just maintain daily hygiene and normal functioning things, and I was struggling to do it. And my thought was, if I gain any more weight, how am I gonna do the daily activities that are required? So I started researching things for like the last 30 days, which is not what I recommend people do. I think just jump into fitness and you can learn as you go, start the healthier habits. But that's what I did. And it was February of 2019 is when I started my journey. And I just started eating healthier, and I lost about 60 pounds the first year or so. And as I started losing weight, more and more people asked me what I was doing, and I started helping people. But I didn't know what I was doing to lose the weight. I just knew I was losing weight. So I decided about 3 years into my journey that I was going to become a certified personal trainer and nutritionist, and that I could help people and do it the right way and actually tell them why I was doing the things I was doing. So that's kind of how I got into that, the training side of things. Spent, a good 7 months learning and training and doing all the stuff with IHSSA, and became a certified trainer through them. So,
Nice, nice. So your workouts, what are, how have you been concentrating on your workouts? What got you to where you're feeling comfortable with yourself now, and what's some of the stuff that you learned as a personal fitness trainer?
that's very misinformed about before I started training and stuff like is that you needed to be in the gym for 6 hours a day or 6 days a week, 2 hours a day, and it's just there's not a reality of it. Most of us can get away with being pretty healthy just a day or two in the gym and 45 minutes or so. So that was one of the biggest things that I learned for sure is that fitness does not have to be our entire life to be fit and to be healthy. And
Agree.
it can actually go the other way a lot of times with people. So that's definitely something that was probably the biggest misconception that I had. And then one of the other things obviously is that I learned is that how important nutrition actually is in the weight loss side of things. People think the gym is like where you go to lose weight and things like that. Really, the gym is to be healthier, to be stronger, to be more mobile. The weight loss side of it comes from nutrition for the most part. And a good nutritious diet can help us in that regard. It can help us train better. It can help us have more endurance and things like that. And those are things that I just didn't know before I became a trainer and actually started working with people. So,
So so as far as nutrition wise, we'll touch on the exercise here in a little bit. Nutrition wise, what do you think some of the healthier, let's say for those viewers that are out there that want to start somewhere, I guess it's kind of like an easier way to start in the kitchen. What would you recommend? What would you want to cut out? What do you want them to add? Let's start from there.
well, I believe strongly in something called protein leveraging, where we get our protein first. Um, I love a whole foods diet. I love beef. I think beef is one of the healthiest foods we can eat. I do a leaner ground beef, but just getting if you get your meat in, I believe in your beef, your chicken, all of those things specifically, and I believe that we should eat that stuff first on our plate. And then we go to our healthy carbs, our healthy vegetables, rice and potatoes. I love, but I also don't want somebody to be so restricted that they binge later. So I honestly think the 80-20 rule is great for nutrition. Just get your protein in first, get your carbs in, get your veggies, and then if you're still hungry, even you can go for that snack. But a lot of people learn that if they eat whole nutritious foods, they're not going to crave the sugars. They're not going to desire to binge later. So that's what I preach protein leveraging to my clients. Let's get our protein in first. It's the most satiating thing we eat. So that's huge in all my programs. Protein is a must for my
Awesome.
clients.
Awesome. Protein it's great. It's steak and
Yeah.
potatoes, big steak,
Yes.
I love it. Can't beat it.
Yes. And
Um,
it's funny how if people will switch to that type of eating where then fruits are like candy to you, they're sweet enough that you don't have the sweet cravings. If you can just get over that first week or two and give that stuff up, you'll find out how good whole foods actually taste compared to what
oh yeah.
what they do now. I mean, food is engineered to make us crave it. That's how they make their money.
I, I
So,
I believe so. I agree on
yeah.
that. Yeah. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, listen. If you're craving food, eat a steak. Bottom line,
Yes.
eat a steak.
Agreed.
It's a win-win situation. Um, so now let's work into some of the workouts. I know that some people out there they want to go ahead and they want to look big. Let's talk about the first responder community a little bit.
Okay.
And I know that we have to look a certain way, but not all of us do. And some of us, they have a little bit harder lifestyle. So we want to start somewhere. On your perspective, from what you've seen, you've been around the block a few times. What should first responders in general, not just police, but also firefighters and medics and EMS, everybody out there, where do you think they should start?
Functional
What?
workouts. Functional workouts. I love the things like the lunges, the fireman carries, short sprints. It's all about function for those type of people for me. And it makes sense, right? That's the key thing is that we're mobile, we're strong, we're mentally sharp in that aspect. So those are my clients. I do all functional workouts. I don't want to see, they don't need to be doing bench presses and things like that necessarily if their goal is just to make their body as functional and mobile as possible. And that, I feel like that's an aspect that most people don't actually do that they could benefit from. Everybody wants to go into the gym and get their muscles big and not work on the mobility and the functional side of things. I think functional strength is super.
Yep.
Not enough people actually have it.
Yeah, core workouts.
You know?
I believe in big time
Yes.
core workouts, being able still to move around. We all wear gear, either if it's a SWAT vest,
Yes.
outside carrier, or bunker gear, whatsoever. If you're too big and you need to get through a window or through a hole in the wall or whatsoever, I mean, if you're too big, you're out of, I don't want to say you're out of commission, but you're limited. You're limited. So,
Yes. And so around in this area with mine stuff, they are what are called mounted division officers. So there's a lot of them on horses. It's actually a whole nother aspect where they do search and rescue missions and things like that on horses. So that's a whole nother aspect of training that I get to on. It's pretty cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's probably not a division that most people know about.
We do have some mounted services over here, and probably the bigger agencies, like the sheriff's department, of course. But it's one of those things that not everybody can get into it, but they also don't know how much physical exertion that takes.
Yes. Yes. And you have to also, as a mounted division officer, if you're going to be on a horse, you have to learn to be calm in a state of what everybody else is panicking because the horses themselves react to how you feel. So if
Yeah.
you're scared, your horse is scared. So it's a whole different aspect of training too, where we learn to stay calm. We work on breathing techniques. I love ice baths for people to learn to calm their hearts down and stuff like that with the people I work with. So that's something really cool too. That I actually think that a lot of law enforcement and SWAT teams and members could benefit from is the ice baths and learning to control your breathing and things like that.
Yeah.
And
We
I don't
have we
think
have a
it's
couple of
used enough. I don't.
yeah, we have a couple of officers that I know that it's they like the ice bath. Ice baths for me, it's a little bit too cold. So, but
Yeah.
it's functional fitness. We have Hawkins here.
Yes.
Functional fitness is key, and I believe that the ice baths are good. You got to get used to it, work your way into it. It's one of those things that it's not for everybody, but it could be if you have the right mindset.
Yeah. You learn to control your heart rate. You learn to control your breathing, and those are all things that give you more endurance and higher mental capacity out in the field if you can use it properly.
Okay, what's your opinion on a baseline workout for first responders?
I mean, of course, it's a little bit different with everybody based on their physical abilities, but some of the things that are, I don't want to say, on there are requirements, but I do think farmers carries obviously, lunges. I don't like unilateral plane movements. I like you to be I like you to be moving laterally, vertically, all those things. So like box jumps. It's a lot more functional fitness. It's not so much weightlifting, to be honest with you. Uh, a few movements, though, like squats, deadlifts, I think that are super underrated to keep our cores tight. But it's all functional movements, box squats and things like that, box jumps, lunges like are super important to me. But it's really hard to say a baseline because you still have to work with everybody's body shape and still work with how they are. So it's not. I don't have a solid like is what you're going to do if you're a first responder or a police officer. It is still about the individual
Yeah,
and what specifically they do.
I've seen some workouts where, the push pull drag, um, with some weighted
Oh,
vest.
sleds are awesome. Yes.
Yes, so I've
Yeah.
seen some of
But
those
I'm
workouts.
going in there. I'm less worried about you going there and bench pressing, and that's not what everybody needs.
Yeah.
So it's just
Well,
that's fine if we can get to that and you want to do that. But
yeah. So in
I
the
definitely I love things too that and you can build muscle and endurance at the same time, because not a lot of people have a ton of time to do in the gym. So if you can do like two birds with one stone like that, endurance and muscle building at the same time, that's great as well. Which is what like weighted lunges and farmers carries and stuff can do. And sled, I love sled work. As we get older, it's better for our knees, build our knees stronger. So
Okay. So let me read something here. What kind of training would build the most real world strength for people that might have to fight victims or fight suspects, so per se?
it's a good question. Well, I will say this is one thing too, that I love. All my clients who are in law enforcement and stuff like that, I do believe strongly in that they should do jujitsu classes. I think I almost think to be law enforcement, you should have to do it. I would like to see it as a requirement. So I do work with a jujitsu instructor, or I have a friend who is that I recommend those people to. And I love stuff with like sandbags. That's a big thing we do. We have a field out back where you pick up sandbags, drag it to one side of the field, back like that. That's huge. Anything that can build endurance, obviously, because if you're in a fight with you know, somebody out on the street, one thing you'll learn is if you can control your heart rate, you can stay calm. Eventually, they're going to get tired.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to take them down. So,
Yeah,
but I think law enforcement and jujitsu would be. I would like to see more of it as a requirement. To be honest with you, I mean, how do you
I
feel about that?
yeah, we do
Yeah.
defensive tactics. It's honestly, it's not all the best. It helps some people, but real people that really get into real work doesn't really work for them. A lot of our good officers, they do some type of jujitsu, they do some type of extracurricular martial arts whatsoever. But I believe that it is necessary because I worked in a on the street with a law enforcement agency on the street, and it's necessary when you have that aggravated person that he's enraged, and you need to be able to first think clearly, be able to control him, be able to take care of yourself, and if he is trying to hurt somebody, you should be able to kind of help mitigate that a little bit.
Oh yeah. Which is so too like one of the things I think breath work while we're working out. People don't realize how important like learning your breathing and stuff is, because if you can control that stuff while you work out, you're going to control your breathing better out when you're fighting, when you're in those situations, and you're just going to outlast the other person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Because one of the reasons people get the most tired in those type of situations is because they don't control their breathing.
So for the viewers out there, what's your preferred startup workout? How do you warm up? Let me know how you warm up, and
Uh,
let's see what kind of responses you guys got compared to our personal fitness trainer, what he recommends, and you should be changing up a little bit.
yeah, so I always warm up no matter what with a 10-minute light, either bike ride, cardio, or a treadmill or something like that, just to get my bones loose. And then I love bands, get my worked with the bands and things like that. But it's going to depend on what body part we're working and stuff like that, for
Right.
sure. But bands are my favorite workout or warm up thing. Especially I'm older, and I use a lot of people in this field are older. We want to go right into lifting heavy before we're loose, and that's how we pull muscles and stuff like that, but always with a little 10-minute cardio session. I don't want to get the breathing too high or anything like that. But band, my favorite thing. I think bands are one of the most underutilized things that we have.
Yeah, what kind of balance you think there should be between cardio and muscle building?
Uh, well, for law, it's different for law enforcement than the regular person. Um, I think that law enforcement probably needs to be the most balanced. Where with law enforcement, it's not for me. It's not a lot of steady cardio. I love hit workouts for law enforcement because I want to see for the 10 minutes, the 15 minutes, they have a lot of endurance. But it's hard to balance cardio and muscle building because they're very different signals. So you can't really get your cardio up a ton while you're building muscle at the same time too. And too much muscle hurts the cardio. It takes oxygen to function muscle. So it is hard balance to have.
Yeah. Um, as a law enforcement officer on a daily, we are carrying anywhere from 20 to, I don't want to say too high up there, but 20 to 30 pounds, depending on what kind of gear you have. You got your vest. Some people like putting an extra plate in there, but you got your belt, which is freaking, it's a bat belt, dude. It's a bat belt. It's one of those things that sometimes I'm so tired or exhausted that I just swing it around my waist and just, I do the boomerang launch around the waist just to kind of get it out there.
All right, I lost you for a second. For people who don't know, I'm kind of parked in the middle of the field. I'm here at the Arnold's in Columbus, Ohio. So I kind of lost you there for about a minute. So I'm not exactly sure what you said.
Okay, so here we go. So as a law enforcement officer, we do have a vest and we do have gear. And I was saying that you could have anywhere from 20 to 30 pounds, give or take, and it's if like myself, I said sometimes I'm exhausted enough to where I just swing it around my waist like a boomerang and just hopefully it makes it to the other side and just clip it on. But law enforcement itself, first responders, the totality, they should be able to be fit enough to, if you're going to do the job, you have to be fit. You have to be up there.
Yes. Honestly, if I think like 2 days is for enforcement, and then like 3 days of cardio, if I have them for 5 days, would and the cardio doesn't have to just be like running or being on a treadmill. You can do cardio with weights, like faster movements, higher reps. That's still considered cardio in training. So I do think that there to be a little more of an emphasis on the cardio side than the muscle building side of law enforcement. Had a number on like 60-40. I think for cardio, you want to be functionally strong, not strong in single movement. Super critical. So that would be my balance, about 64, I would say. But functional cardio, just not treadmill, let's say, for example, the fireman carries. That's a type of cardio to me where you're also building up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the walking lunges, walking weighted lunges, that's a type of cardio. And
Yeah, let me see. We have a comment here. Put that out. Tell me if you see this. Push-ups, dead hangs, upper body workouts. Oh, I think we lost him. He'll be back in a second. He should be coming in. He's in the middle of nowhere, guys. Sorry, he's in and out. Let's get him back in here. So push-ups. Let's put this up there again. Let's do this. Body weighted squats are very important. Lunges, yeah. 4 to 5 rounds. I totally agree. Here he is, and he is almost back. We got to get him. We gotta get him. Let me see if I can help him out here with the processes. You got this, JT. I know that you're over there in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, if you carry the new breaching tools that we're gonna have, woo, yeah, you'll be training pretty hard there. Yeah, you don't worry, they'll get in shape. They'll definitely be getting in shape if they start carrying those. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to get them back. Let me see where we're at. Trying to. They say he's probably freaking out on the other side. Oh my God, I can't get on this. JT, if you can hear me, I can hear you. No? Okay. Let's continue with this. So listen up, ladies and gentlemen. If you're here, oh, there he is. Are you there? You are frozen up a little bit. When you're ready, say something because we can't hear you on this side. If my audience can still hear me, go ahead and say something. Type anything in the chat box, please. Let's see. JT. We're going to have to get you inside on Wi-Fi or something. So listen, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are. This is all about fitness. We are trying to get all the first responders ready to go. We're trying to educate them. He's gonna be here. JT is gonna be telling us some of the stuff that how he uses some of his products, and also he'll be able to give us a little bit more information on some of the best stuff that's right out there, you know. And just a way to stay healthy, a way to pretty much just kind of hang in there, you know. We are first responders. We should be staying fit. If you have any questions, start putting them in the chat as far as fitness wise, and we're gonna go ahead and I'll forward it to him, and he'll be responding, and hopefully we'll see if we can get him back up here again.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. Here we go.
I moved to the city a little bit. Maybe I'll have better reception over here. I'm sorry about that.
That's all good, my friend. So, okay. So, all right. So, as far as the workouts go, right? So, you said 60-40 balance with, you know, cardio and muscle. And what do you think about recovery? What's important about the recovery phase to be able to keep the muscle, to be able to maintain that fitness level that first responders should pretty much be within? What do you think about that?
Recovery is everything. If you're not recovering, the workouts are, I don't want to say pointless, but they're definitely not as what they should be. Not enough people get enough sleep, which is the most important thing for our recovery is sleep. And I know it's a high stress job, and it's a job where a lot of people don't have a schedule that allows them to necessarily sleep, but recovery is everything, which is where proper nutrition comes in, proper sleep comes in, getting out in the sun comes in. It's such an underrated tool, but recovery is probably the most important thing in training. Okay. And the most important thing for recovery is sleep.
All right. So let's start with supplement wise. So if you want to, let's take it by the beginner phase. A beginner, even though everybody should have a common knowledge of what kind of exercises they should start doing, like walking, running, maybe baby push-ups at the house or something, just something to get their muscles going and their body warmed up. Um, should I be taking creatine? What should I be eating before a nice workout to get my body going? What are your thoughts?
Creatine, definitely. I think everybody could benefit from creatine. And we're learning more and more that, I mean, everybody's known the 5 grams of creatine, that's what you take. But more and more studies are coming out that higher creatine, maybe even the 20 grams a day, is having such good cognitive benefits and allowing us to focus more and be sharper. Everybody should take creatine. It's
Right.
honestly the only supplement that I say you should take. Other than that, we use supplements to fill in the gaps of where we're not at. Let's say I live in a cold weather state in Michigan where it snows. So if I'm working with somebody in this state, we probably need vitamin D. That's probably going to be crucial. Protein, I think is a protein shake, a protein supplement is great for people who can't get their protein in. But I don't, for the most part, I don't think supplements are a requirement, if that makes sense. But
Right.
I think creatine is. It's the one supplement I say take it. You need to take
Do
it.
do you have a favorite brand, or do you recommend anything,
No, I tell
or
people the reality is that creatine monohydrate, as long as it's pure monohydrate creatine, that's all you need. There's a lot of companies out there that will tell you that they have different kinds, or they want to charge you more, or they want to put something else in it. It's not necessary. Creatine is a very cheap supplement that everybody can afford to take, and it doesn't need to be anything fancy.
yeah. For our
And I,
viewers out there, for our viewers out there that are listening, just be advised, this is not medical advice
yes,
whatsoever.
not at all.
This is all opinion based. This is
Yes,
what we have. This is what we've done to better ourselves, to make our stuff work for us. So you have to do your own research. Your you have to do your own research. You have to make sure that if you have any problems with your health, make sure that your general physician clears you. But this is what we've seen, what we have, and what we use. Just wanted to throw that
yes.
disclaimer out there.
Yes, for sure. And I'm sure, like, so while I think supplements, there's only certain ones that are required, I'm sure, as we're going to get into a little bit later, there are some newer things out that I believe can definitely help people. And I'm
Yeah,
sure we'll get into that later. But
yeah, yeah. For those that are just jumping in and watching, um, JT, real quick, how can they find you? Where can they, reach you at if they have questions later on, so on and so forth?
the honestly, the only social media I have is a TikTok, because I love I do lives in there where I do about an hour and a half sessions, 2 hours a day, or 2 times a day, where I answer these type of questions kind of at a fast pace. I'm sure you've seen mine before. But
Yeah,
JT Fit 03 is my, and I don't know if you can post it in there, but TikTok's the best place to get a hold of me.
I am. So it's first time that I have a guest online here, and I know there's a way of me. You know what? I think. Do you see the chat on your side?
I don't see the chat. I was trying to look to where I could see and maybe answer some questions, but I do not see it.
Oh, oh man. Okay. So yeah. We have to figure that out. Because I want to be able to post, because I know if on right now I have an extra phone on the side and I can see the chat on YouTube. Um, but I thought that you were able to see some of this chat going on.
And
Let me,
maybe there's a way that I can.
yeah, it's a new system for me, so I'm still also trying to work out the kinks here. Let me see. All right, can you okay, let's see. Can you see this? It says, "I hear you fine."
I can't see. I don't see anything.
Okay. Let me see. I know there's a way, but I will have to hopefully figure this out for our next one, because this is I want you here again pretty soon, so that way if people do start messaging and stuff like that, we can go ahead answer those questions as we go and on the fly. And I think it'll be good. I think it'll be
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I would definitely love to be back when I have. It's been a busy weekend for
I
sure.
bet. I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have been at it for the last 72 hours. I actually
What you
just
been
got
doing?
done training at a private gym out here. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. What's
Yeah.
what you been up to there?
Honestly, making connections, meeting people. I may have got introduced to a new blood work clinic that I'm trying to partner with, Good Labs. I love blood work. I think it can tell a lot about it. But other than that, just meeting people, making connections, and hoping to be able to partner with people who I'm trying to partner with a mental health professional
Nice.
on the side of things. So I met with a guy out here about that. I think that that would be a really good partner to have. A lot of law enforcement and first responders go through a lot of traumatic things, and I think it's always been taboo for us to talk about our feelings in the past. I feel like, but I think we're starting to learn that being able to talk about the things and deal with them definitely are helpful. So that's
Oh yeah.
something I'm trying to
It
do.
used to be the suck it up and go.
Yes,
Yeah. It
it
used to be
did.
the suck it up and go. And believe me, uh, uh, we're on the older side, so our background and you know everything is just hey, brush it off, keep on going, don't worry. If it
Yeah,
didn't kill you, it didn't hurt you. Go ahead, just keep on
yeah,
going.
yes.
Learn
That is
to live with
that's
it.
our generation.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I think mental health is necessary out there. Not so much that we have to love and hug everybody.
Right.
Not so cuddly, but yeah, we all need a little bit of help here every once in a while.
Yes.
We all deal with a lot of stresses and stuff.
So,
Um,
so yeah, in case anybody doesn't know, I'm at the Arnold's. It's a I guess it's I would call it a fitness and health convention. It used to be a bodybuilding thing, but it's definitely turned into a health and fitness convention, which has been really cool.
hey, your TikTok again was
So
JT
JT
Fit.
Fit '03.
Okay, I'm putting it on the chat. JT Fit 03. Hopefully I did
I actually
type in
saw that.
that.
I saw that come through,
Oh
but
yeah,
it didn't.
okay.
It didn't stay up though.
Right, okay. Yeah, yeah, that's the chat. Um, hopefully I typed it in the right way because I don't have my glasses with me, but hey, you know what? Hopefully the fingers didn't fail me.
I think you got it right.
Yeah.
You got it right.
Awesome. Yeah. There you go. JT Fit 03. Our buddy Phil Hawkins went ahead and retyped it up in there again. Yeah, bud.
Appreciate that.
Um, so tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that you use now. Let's go with that. Let's put you out there.
Do what? How deep do we want to go about the stuff that I use?
Listen, I'm down, bro. I'm open. Let's explain to them what it is and what it's not, and
Okay.
then you can do your recommendations as far as what they should start with, and then how they can advance, and then they can reach you for further questions if they have any deep questions, so on and so forth. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So
yeah,
first of all, as we get older, which a lot of us are, the first thing that we need to look at is our hormones, men and women. Hormone replacement therapy, I think, is crucial. Testosterone, as we get older, we have a testosterone epidemic in this country, men and women. Women are extremely under diagnosed with low testosterone and stuff like that. So I do pair with some blood work clinics. We need to get that in check first of all, and everything else kind of starts there. I'm extremely into peptides, as a lot of my audience knows, and what they are. Let's start off with is they're tools. They're not fix-alls for everybody, which is what I think that they want them to be. They fill gaps in our nutrition and our recovery and things like that. But I don't like people using them to thinking that they're miracles and that they're just going to be able to take them and be healthy. I currently the peptides that I take, if you want me to go into them,
yeah.
are Retta, True Tide. which speeds up my metabolism, allows me to stay as lean as possible. It allows me to not crave bad food, which is helpful to a lot of people. I only desire to eat healthy foods on it. I take Motsi, which is something that is going to control my insulin and allow me to have more energy for times when I can't sleep or get the sleep that I need, which sleep should be priority one, but it's not a reality for everybody. I take something called Samax, which allows us to be sharper and focus more when sleep is not necessarily there, which, because I believe obviously we need to all have a high functioning brain in situations. I'm taking something called KPV, which really will help fight inflammation in our body and allow us to be more mobile, more functionable. And of course, I take the creatine. But right now, those are the things that I take. And I have very, very specific reasons that I take them. But there's a lot of other ones out there that can fill gaps for people who have things that need filled.
Right. So, you mentioned that you have how often do you take these? Is it a once a week, a once a day?
So, with the Retta, the True Tide, that's a once a week thing. That's all we need to take it. The Motsi, the Samax, I kind of take those as necessary. I know on a day where I did not get a ton of sleep, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna need a little more energy. I'm gonna need a little more focus. I'm gonna those things. So I take them as needed. Today was one of them.
Yeah.
Lack of sleep this weekend, but I mean, they all have a different schedule that we're supposed to take them based on their half-lives and things like that. So
Okay. All right. So for those that are starting out there, I can't even pretty much give you an example, but what would be if they wanted to start as a starter kit? What would
okay.
you say?
Well, usually I will always talk to the client, see what it is that they're lacking, right? And then what
They
could
want
help
to
them because
control.
every
They want to control their weight. Let's do this. Let's start with
okay, perfect.
weight because you know what? A lot of let's be real. We like ice cream, we like cake, we like Coke, Sprite. You name it. You know we like going somewhere and stuffing our face and not care. But
Yes.
then we go to the work. We go to the gym and we don't see a difference and we make an excuse to, oh, I went to the gym for an hour today. I can go have a soda.
Yeah.
So, let's say a person that wants to go ahead, is serious, and wants to start trimming down so they can feel better, so they can go ahead and start working out. Let's What's
So
that?
on the FDA approved side of things, the most powerful compound we have right now is something called tirzepatide. It is it's great for appetite control. It's great for controlling food noise and cravings. We have something in the works right now that may be FDA approved in the next 6 to 12 months called retatrutide. Once that's FDA approved, that will be probably the most powerful weight control compound that we've ever seen. But on the FDA approved side right now, it's tirzepatide. It is
Okay.
a everybody knows about. I feel like they hear about semaglutide, which was a weight loss control compound, but it had a lot of bad side effects. It made people get to a point where they couldn't eat food, which is not the goal when losing weight. We want to be able to fuel our bodies still. We want to be able to nourish ourselves. We don't want to lose muscle on these things. We want to hold on to that as much as possible. And the newer compounds like tirzepatide and retatrutide are proving that we can do both.
Okay. Um, so so now they're losing weight. Now they're starting to see some effects, some results. Let's not call them effects, let's call them results. Some results. Where, how do they, so let me rephrase this again. So they're taking the supplements now. What kind of exercises should they be doing to get maximum effectiveness of this?
Compound movements, always. Compound movements are the most crucial in the gym. They're the ones that are going to build the most muscle. And this is, if you're going to be on it, one of these compounds too, this is where your protein and your strength training are so critical, because the goal at the end of the day is to never lose muscle. We want to, and you will, you're going to lose muscle if you're in a calorie deficit. We want to maintain as much as possible. So go into the gym if you want to hold on to your muscle and do all the compound movements. They give you the most bang for your buck. So, I mean, your bench presses, your squats, your deadlifts, the three critical movements in holding muscle. But protein, this is, and even more so than a normal person, this is where protein comes into play, because we have seen what people called the Ozempic face or things like that. It's because people are eating 1,000 calories a day. And if you're eating 1,000 calories a day, your protein's probably at like 50 grams, and you're not doing your body any justice.
Got it.
You're actually maybe becoming unhealthier. I think one of the bigger issues that we have in society is not necessarily an obesity problem. I think a lot of us are just under muscled. I think if we can build muscle, we're going to control our weight better in general anyways.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that.
people just want to lose weight as fast as possible, and that's not the healthiest way to do it. All of the research, all of the studies, all the science shows that losing weight at a proper weight of like 1 to 2 pounds per week, you maintain as much muscle as possible, you keep the weight off much longer. So that's just the way to do it. So
So now they want to up it a little bit, and now they're pretty much feeling good. They're seeing the results. What's the next step?
this is where adding a compound like, let's say, a CJC IPA or tesamorelin, which is FDA approved, so we can talk about it in human use, is going to raise your IGF levels, which will allow you to recover faster in the gym, allow you to sleep better, which is how you build muscle, and it will actually give you some muscle building properties. Not a ton, but that, in my opinion, is the next step. I don't like introducing that right away, because compounds like that make you retain water and gain weight in the beginning. So you have to be in a comfortable place where you understand that that's going to happen. You're going to put on a few pounds when you start these compounds. It's generally just water weight, inflammation as your body adjusts. But those are generally my next recommendations. We'll just say tesamorelin, since it's FDA approved, and we can talk about it in human
Awesome.
consumption.
Cool. Um, Injuries. What do you think about injuries? What should be? How should you prevent injuries, and how would you treat them?
Preventing them is it's not as hard as people think. Actually, proper warm-ups, not ego lifting, doing weights we can handle and move fine. That's a great way to, and sleep prevents injuries. But in this line of work, they're always going to happen. We have a couple compounds that are actually going to be moved back into level 1, which means that they can be prescribed. So we can probably talk about them. The BPC 157, which is great. The TB4, TB500, and the KPV, great compounds to help with injuries. They reduce inflammation. I mean, it's called the Wolverine stack for a reason. People are healing incredibly with it.
Nice.
So if you do get injured, those are things that I think we should look at. I think the one that's similar to BPC right now that there is FDA approved is called Pentadeca. It's essentially BPC with an extra amino. But all these compounds, the great thing is that RFK did say they were illegally moved to a level 2, which means they can't be prescribed. The goal in the next few months is to move them back to level 1, which allows them to be prescribed by doctors, which is pretty exciting.
Okay.
So
Um, yeah. So that's good because a lot of people they just want to get into exercising. Some people don't warm up. They get injured. Then they get this, oh, I'm injured now. Now I can't do this. I'm not gonna do this because it's hard. So that's why I kind of wanted. That's why I asked you to start with, hey, let's lose a little bit of weight. Let's do some stretches, warm ups, and start building from there. Ryan Strahan says a school, a source of info. Okay. I don't know what he's trying to say, but
Oh, he's probably saying I do have a school
oh, okay,
where I do like coaching and consultations and put out information about
okay,
training, about nutrition. My
okay,
school has recipes in there. So one of the ways I lost weight, I guess we didn't really touch on it, is I did what I call an anabolic diet, which is where we take foods that we love, like burgers and pizza, and I make them healthier, higher protein, so you can still get a good volume of food in and feel full. And we don't give up the foods we love. That was something that was required for me when I was 415 pounds
well,
because I knew mentally I could not give up my pizzas and all that stuff. So I actually have a cookbook that I've written. It's not out yet. I need to work on that part about it, but using the foods that I did to lose weight. But I post those in my school for people.
awesome. You know what? I can offline. I can get with you and I can tell you where I got my book.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I would love that.
yeah,
I would
they're
definitely love that.
good people, good sources. They follow up with you, and not bad at all.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're here. We're at what? We're looking at. We're almost at an hour. So, um, I want you to, when you get a chance, send me that info. I'll put it in the description also because after we're done, just hang on tight with me there for a second. But after we're done, um, I'll get all your info. I get some of the website info or any
Okay.
of that other info, and I'll post it in the description because this live is also going to be posted on YouTube, even though it's live on YouTube now, but it'll go again.
Okay.
It's basically two videos up there, so that way your people and everybody that's watching me and the ones that are interested, they can go back for that resource.
Sounds
And
good.
but yeah, it's one of those things that let's see what we got. So where so let's promote your I know that you have a code and a website for the stuff that you're using, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And just keep
What
in mind this is a research company. We do not promote human consumption in any regards. Please just know that if you're buying these products, they are for research, and that's what you should do. You should not consume these products. But it's peptira.com, like my hat says. Um, the code there is JT, just like my name. And it's a great company for these research products.
Awesome. Awesome. So
I want
again,
if we could I touch on something that you had just mentioned that I don't think we did talk enough about though real quick
do it.
was when people are getting into the gym,
Yeah.
they want to go 100% from day one instead of easing themselves into it. And what happens is they get tired, they get hurt, and they never go back. If you can give 40% 3 times a week, it's going to be better than giving 100% 1 day a week, if that makes sense.
Oh yes. Yeah. I
Like
agree with
going to
that.
the gym, and it's what people do. It's the most classic thing that I see in my space is people want to go in, they want to work 7 days a week, they want to cut their calories to 1,500, and they're not fueling their body, and they're tired, and they get injured, and they quit. It
Yeah,
it's what we
I went
see
to a
all the
CrossFit
time.
gym one time, and man, I was young, but they tortured me. I was so like by the end of the night, my arms were stiff. I was walking around like I didn't know where to put my arms, and that was to me that was not good because I was an officer back then, and if I needed to pull my firearm or do anything, I was stiff. Even though
Yeah.
the mindset takes over and you do what you have to do, but afterwards you go back to stiff Jose.
Yes. 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 And I listen. I think CrossFit's done a lot of things right. They've built community well. They have certain things that can make you function in the right movements, but as a whole, it's definitely not for beginners. It's definitely for very, very advanced people, and I still think they go a little too risky for injuries in CrossFit. They've done some things right though. I don't want to
Yeah,
completely knock on CrossFit, but yeah,
yeah. There's some good CrossFitters out there that they can read their audience well, where
yes,
they don't kill them from the beginning. But yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'll do a CrossFit workout every now and then just to test myself. I think it's a good test
I,
for
I, I
sure.
I think so too. I think just to see where you're at, see how your endurance
Yeah.
is. I do believe that it builds endurance like crazy.
Oh, it does. It really does. It's probably one of the fastest ways to. It's kind of it's the type of it's hybrid training, like which I believe strongly in hybrid training, especially for high performing people. I think they just go a little hard with it, but I do love the circuit style things for officers and things like that, where it's cardio and and muscle building at the same time. They they have a good strategy for it. It's just executed poorly sometimes across the gyms.
Yeah, yeah. Just depends on who's behind the steering wheel of it. But
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
but yeah, I want to say thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate this. This is awesome.
Yeah, we'll do it again too, where I can get on some Wi-Fi and have a little more time to prepare and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and we're gonna work on this chat to see if your people can get on here, so my people could also see what's happening and what kind of questions are asked, and maybe they have the same questions that your guys have, so on and so forth. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a good thing here.
Yeah, I agree.
So
So this is good to work out some kinks, and we'll definitely do it again.
yeah, one more time, put out your socials out there, and so that way people hear it.
Yeah, it's just I'm on TikTok. That's my primary platform. I have actually JT Fit 3 and JT Fit 4. In my space, we have to have multiple TikTok accounts. Unfortunately, uh, they don't necessarily like the things that we talk about. They don't like to hear, I guess, the advancements in the human body quite yet. It's still a little taboo what I do. So we have
Yeah.
both those accounts, and I do have the school, which is called JT's Fit Performance Lab, and I have a little less censorship in there. I can talk a little more freely. I do, if you're interested, I do the nutrition, I do the training programs. Obviously, it's more cookie cutter, where I have to build a program for people, but I do everything from beginner home workouts in there for people with bands to advanced PPL type training in there to functional type training, and that's JT's Fit Performance Lab. But those are the two main places that you can find me.
Don't worry, all this stuff is what's the recommended load for Tessa Moreland?
I think a woman can get away with a milligram daily before bed in a fasted state. I think for a man, it takes 2 milligrams daily. It's fasted before bed. Crucial that we are in a low insulin level state if we're going to take testosterone. We do not want our human growth hormone to compete with insulin. Insulin is a much stronger hormone and will strongly mitigate the side effects of your or the effects of your human growth hormone. So that's crucial. I don't think it's something people do enough.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna be coming back soon. This is just the beginning of one of the series that I'm trying to put together. So I'm working on getting the fitness part of it, so my first responder people out there can start getting into it. My next session is pretty much going to be mindset and how to dominate that to be ready for action when the time calls. And then after that, we're going to be working on some of the tactics and stuff. So we're going to break it down school wise, little disciplines here, disciplines there, and we'll come back to fitness as well, just in case. I know I'm trying to get out there, so we're going to be moving here pretty soon. That's my goal. That's my
Yeah,
goal.
definitely. I have a friend Lauren who's really interested in this. She's a correctional officer at Rikers Island, and she was like, "Oh, you have to hook me up with them. I would really love to talk about what I do out there. So maybe I'll hook
Shoot
you
her
up with
my
her too."
info. Shoot her my info.
Yeah,
Um, I want first responders. I need the first responders out there to know that I'm not looking for tier one people, even though that's great. I would love it, but I know that I'm in a position now where I'm still a little guy, but I know that we need to hear some of the real stories out there, real conversations. Let her know that this is not a political channel. I don't like political or religious. It just kind of keeps it neutral. And
I agree. I agree.
you know, there's too much. There's other people that take care of that for me. So I don't. I just don't
Agreed.
think it's
Agreed. It's not.
necessary.
It's not important in what we're doing right here. This is
Correct.
what we're talking about right here is for everybody.
Correct. We're trying
So
to. We're building a community to protect ourselves and be better for the community. So that's one of my biggest things. To we got to get mentally right first, physically right, and so that way we can perform for the community. So that way we have help. Because if we don't, if we're
yes,
not right with the community, the job is harder. So why make it harder?
much harder. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%.
So yeah. So I'm gonna stop this here live here. Thank you everybody for showing up. See you guys next time. And remember, Operator's Tactical Mindset. Train with a purpose. Operate with intent.